All right, Monday Fun Day. Welcome back in the NBA Tip-Off Show, powered by WagerTalk TV. And we've got plenty going on in the association tonight. In fact, it is a sports equinox, I believe is what they call it. And it has something to do with the fact that, well, you can bet on every damn sport known to mankind here tonight across the board. And the NBA happens to be one of those sports, and it just so happens we have three of the best here at WagerTalk.com to navigate you through a great schedule. As the pen right in the middle there, Ralph Michaels ready to roll. Skee Profit in the number one slot, followed by the prop god, Mr. Andy Lang. And gentlemen, we got a little something for everyone here tonight, coming out of what was no doubt a very profitable weekend. And Skee, we are off and running here in the NBA, and you are crushing it, my man. So who better to start us off with the contrarian gods than you? And who else would they be looking at on the board here tonight, Skee, other than, of course, the Miami Heat, who don't seem to be getting any love in the marketplace today. Milwaukee getting all the love. But wait a minute, Skee. Milwaukee on the second of a back-to-back. Isn't Miami rested? What are we doing here with the contrarian gods, Skee?
I can understand this play. The Miami Heat did also, have a bad loss in their last game, so they should be ready to play. And just when a team is on a back-to-back, the longer the game goes on, they're at a disadvantage. So over the course of the full game, I would agree. I think that the Heat can stay within the number, but I'll talk about later in the show a quarter bet that I think is a really good one for tonight.
Ooh, I like it. All right, Ralph, come on, TNA us up here. What got a team just played last night, although they didn't play a lot last night, that being the Milwaukee Bucks. Miami, the rested team. So what gives here this early in the season? Should we be looking with the contrarian gods on this one?
Well, Joe, I was playing with the database while Skee was talking. And remember, these guys are fresh. So I went and looked at back-to-back games with no rest since 2013. And if you're playing in the first 10 games of the season, those teams with no rest are actually 53.9%, 285 wins, 244 ATS losses. So we're talking about a sample size of over 530 plays. So back to back, don't get enamored with it if you like teams in that role. I do like Milwaukee tonight. And I look at the Bucks and I say, well, how did they do in back-to-back games last year? They actually went 9-2-2 against the spread in back-to-back games with no rest, and both losses were late in the season in the last 3 weeks when they were resting players. I look at Milwaukee off a home loss. They went 7-1-2 against the spread last year off a home loss. Why did they lose that game? Well, Middleton they rested because of managing the workload. He'll be back. And you look at Damian Lillard. Lillard had 39 points in the season opener. He was shut out in the first half and had 6 points in that loss. Milwaukee does bounce back. They bounce back after home losses. They are a deep team. I'm not worried about the no rest. Color me the Bucks tonight.
All right, going. We got a Bucks believer on the panel here, which brings us, of course, to the prop god Andy Lang, who the contrarian guys, for some reason, absolutely love you, Andy. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you guys go way back. It might have something to do with the fact that you absolutely never flip them off with both fingers like Skee has done. But we also we have some props in this game that you might be looking at or fading. Which one is it?
Well, I embrace the contrarian gods. I show respect to the contrarian gods. I give them their due. I never cross the contrarian gods. I embrace them. And I'm rolling with them tonight. I knew this would be an inconsistent Bucks team, and I think you're seeing it. It's going to take the entire season for them to really figure out their rotation, where guys are going to be with this, little bit of a new lineup. But I think this line is suspicious. Bucks allowed 122 points per game so far. I know it's only 2, but that's the third worst team in defensive efficiency. They're worse than Portland and Houston. So the worry about Dame Lillard, I'm not saying that was overblown. And I just think this line is a little tricky. Miami, they not off to a good start. Let's be honest. I mean, they barely beat Detroit. They lose by 8 to Boston. They get blown out to Minnesota. It's their third, game on the road. I'm kind of surprised that this line isn't a little bit higher, but I do think this game is going to be closer because the Miami Heat are the second slowest paced team in the NBA. I think they can slow it down. And when you slow the game down, those points become just a lot more valuable. So back-to-back situation doesn't worry me, but I love my contrarian gods, and I think the Miami Heat get it done tonight.
Kind of shocking. They love him so much. But yes, it is the Heat +6. That is where the contrarian gods are looking. And of course, we do have a vote in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. And real quick, if you are new to us here on the NBA Tip-Off Show, as well as WagerTalk TV, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, because if it is NBA content you like, it is NBA content we have all season long. Game previews, best bets. We've got it all for you. Get notified. Simply go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And for those of you lunatics joining us live, welcome. You know how it works. Drop your questions in the chat if you have any as we move on to our featured matchup. And two of the young guns, these two teams I think are going to be real exciting to watch this year, as Detroit getting ready to take on OKC. And Skee, another one of these situations where OKC got a dose of reality when the Denver Nuggets decided to say, all right, settle down, Chet. Eat a few cheeseburgers, and then we'll talk maybe a year or two down the road. But in the meantime, Detroit rested, excited. Cade Cunningham, 6 is what I saw most of this morning. What are you looking at here in this one?
Yeah, for one, I just OKC has gotten a lot better, but I just don't view them as a team that I want to be winning by multiple possessions like this. And from what Detroit has shown us so far, I love their coach, Monty Williams. What they've covered every single game so far, they're as healthy as they're not really that healthy, but they have everybody who's been playing the last few games. So I just like what I've seen from Detroit. I think this is, a game where either team can win. And if you tell me that they're getting 6, I have to go more towards that side. So I'll lean that way. I'll mention Duran, his rebound prop started the season at 8.5. It's already up to 13.5. And I still think he can go over. But those are 2 ways I view this game.
What do you think, Ralph? Does the database have anything about teams getting absolutely ripped the night before and taking on a well-rested Detroit team here? Monty's got these kids playing. What do you do with the number at 6 right now?
Well, I am on Detroit, and I'll be talking more about Detroit in a few minutes with my dog of the day. I think they can win this game outright, and I just think the Detroit Pistons are not priced properly. You look at Miami, they cover by 8.5. You look at Charlotte, they're a 4.5-point dog. They win that game outright by 12. You look at Chicago, they win that game outright by 16 as a 2.5-point dog. So while Andy is talking, I'll look at NBA teams off back-to-back dog wins straight up. But you look at Detroit's defense. They allowed 40.2% to Miami, 37.5% to Charlotte, 41.9% to Chicago. And Duran and Cunningham, they've already talked how they are melding together, how they both have high basketball IQs. Remember last year, they only played 9 games together before Cunningham got hurt. I am a Detroit Pistons fan. OKC did get it handed to them. Well, if Gillis Alexander is only going to go 2 of 16, they're going to lose a lot of games that way. So he'll clearly be better. But to me, it is Detroit. And let's sprinkle some on the money line as I'll be picking them to win outright.
Oh, I like it. All right, a little peek into the upcoming segment there with everyone's favorite dog who might be barking. But Andy, I know you got to have a prop in here for us somewhere along the lines. 2 pretty damn good young teams with a lot of guys to focus on in the prop market. Give us one of them.
Well, Skee mentioned Duran. I love his over 1.5 blocks. You can grab this thing at plus money. He's got 2 blocks, and 4 blocks in 3 games. He's playing 33 minutes a night. He's doing a great job playing on defense and grabbing rebounds. So plus money. I was surprised that it came out at 1.5, and then to get it at plus money. I think by far that's the best prop in this game. For the actual game, the Thunder, they're just going to have these massive swings up and down, and I got burned on the blowout with the Thunder. I remembered this from last year. You have to be really careful when you're playing props on the Thunder. They will bail if the game gets out of reach. I had a prop on Giddey. He played 22 minutes, and then he was done for the night. They have no problem sitting every single starter, and I remember them doing this last year. You look at the game logs, and you'll see guys playing like 35, 33, 36 in 20 minutes. It's like, oh, that was a blowout. So be careful if you're betting on this Thunder team with the props. OKC, they shot terrible last night. Their shot selection was awful. I was watching this game. I don't know. It's against Denver. Denver's going to do that to most teams in this league, especially young teams. So I'm not sure that that's going to be the Thunder that we get. I will take the under on this one as my look. All 3 Pistons game under 225, and the Thunder, they've only scored 108-95 the last 2 games. There's going to be growing pains with the Thunder team. So I like the defense. I like the slower pace of Detroit, 8th best defensive efficiency. Both teams are middle or below average in offensive efficiency. I think points are going to be hard to come by. Give me the under on this one.
Oh, all right. Looking at the under in this one here. A little grind of a battle here, according to Andy. So there you have our featured matchup. Now we'll focus on a total like we usually do in our overtime section here. And it did happen to be early this morning, and go figure, Boston and Washington were a pretty high total here. It was Minnesota, but that came crashing down. So we do have the Wizards taking on the Celtics. Celtics here, 229.5. And Skee, what are we doing with this one? I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of defense from Washington. So the question is, are we going to get enough offense to get us into the 230s here?
I think we can. You look at this Washington team, not very good defending the 3-point line. I think they're allowing just a little bit under 23-point makes so far through their first 2 games this season, and a little bit above 43%. And surprisingly, I think Boston is allowing like 45%. So I don't think of that when I think of Boston. But if both teams are going to give it up from 3, and you have capable scorers, I mean, we know what Jordan Poole and Kuzma can do on one side, and on the flip side, plenty of scores for that Boston team. I definitely think over or nothing for me. I probably would also look at Porzingis over his 3-point prop. I already talked about how bad the Wizards defense is, and I just don't see Gafford wanting to defend him that far from the rim. So I think Porzingis over, full game over, ways I'm looking to play this one.
What do you think here, Ralph? I mean, we did watch Washington open up and gave up, 140 some odd points to Indiana. So defense may not be their forte. But if that's the case, I don't know. Is this lower? Is this too low? Is it just simply an over or not for you in this matchup?
You know, my first instinct is over, obviously, when you have Washington. They allowed 52.3% against Indiana. Then against Memphis, they allowed 43%. But again, that's against this very depleted Memphis team. But I cannot go over with Boston's defense the first couple games. They held New York to 37%. They held Miami to 42.7%. And that's without forcing any turnovers. They only had 21 turnovers in those 2 games. So, I look at that and it really does concern me. I did go to the database, Joe, and I was looking at NBA totals of 230 and higher since 2021, the last 2.5 years. And when NBA totals are 230 or higher, they have gone under the total 52.2%. So not a wow number, but just to inform you. So to me, it's going to be a pass because I am afraid to play the over with Boston's defense the way they're playing. But when you have the Wizards, that's the way you have to look. Boston, they have a game at home against Indiana, but a game of rest. So there's nothing they're looking ahead. So they don't need to rest anyone in this situation. So to me, I actually think under first half. I think Washington's offense really struggles early in the game. Boston may pull away in the second half. So no opinion on the full game total.
Oh, like the first half look there, Ralph. And Andy, well, probably not going to look at a lot of defensive props in this one, I'm not thinking. So maybe some offensive props. But who are you looking at in a matchup between the Celtics and the Wizards here tonight?
Well, kind of an under radar guy for rebounds. I'll take Derek White over 3.5. He has 6 in each of the first 2 games. And, we've seen this Boston team. They get rebounds kind of all over the place. Marcus Smart, obviously, is not there. So, these guards are going to have to pick up some of the other stats. And it looks like Derek White's been doing a good job of rebounding. So 3.5 for a guy that's had 6 in each of the first 2 games. I'll take it. I actually like the under on this one. Too many points. Boston, 5th lowest pace of play. What is Boston, going to prove by running up the score against Washington? And I know Washington's first game hit 263 against Indiana, but those are just 2 of the fastest pace teams. It was a turnstile game. There was no defense whatsoever. It looked like the N1 league. I don't even know why they called it the N1 league. There were no fouls. There were no free throws. But anyway, there's too many points. Last game against Memphis, only 219 total. I'm just not sure they get to 230. I don't see the motivation for Boston. I think once they put the clamps down, you get a lot of missed shots from Washington, which again helps the Derek White rebound total. So give me the under, Derek White over his rebounds.
All right, not for nothing here, but we have to recognize maybe the prop of the day coming from our man S. Warrior. And anybody dropping money on pool over 40 shots might just be the best prop of the night right there. So S. Warrior, outstanding as usual here. And before we get to our dogs and best bets, just a quick reminder, a suggestion. If you're new here, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, become part of the WagerTalk TV family. And if you happen to be hanging with us live on the show right now, you guys know the routine. Smash that like button. We've got best bets coming up as well as a whole bunch of dogs. In fact, we might actually hear them barking now. Robert, what do we got, my man?
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, loaded card here tonight, and they could be barking. Look at these numbers we got here. Wizards, 10. We got Bulls, Hornets, Hawks, Grizzlies, the Trailblazers, Pistons, the Miami Heat, the Warriors, Jazz, and Magic out west against Skee's Lakers. And I know better than to ask Skee how he likes Orlando here tonight as a dog, but I'm going to give him the floor. So, Skee, you got a whole lot of places to roll here with a possible dog, not only covering, maybe winning outright. Give me one that you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm torn between 2, and honestly I haven't placed either one of these bets yet, but I'm pretty sure I'll get to the window here. I'm gonna go with Utah +8 against the Denver Nuggets. I just really like going against teams playing on that second of a back-to-back. And I just feel like, what does Denver really want to play for in this game? I don't think they view the Jazz as any kind of big rival. I don't think they care to win this game by any big margin. And my thought process about the Jazz team so far this year is it's a lot of players over there who are, in my opinion, on their last chance. So they have a lot to prove. And I think they care about every single game. So combination of those things, I think 8 points is too many. I think Jazz keep it respectable.
All right, looking at Utah here. We cashed a ticket last week as a dog, I believe, last week. The Contrarian Gods liked them here. Going back to them here in a pretty winnable spot tonight. Ralph, how about it, man? The numbers are all feasible, man. It feels like there might be a number of dogs barking here tonight. Do you have one in mind?
Joe, first I publicly have to call out Skee. We were talking before the show started, and I went to the records at the back of WagerTalk, and when Skee has an NBA play of 4% or higher, like he does tonight, he is only 41-5. That is only 89% in 46 plays. I can't believe the guy cannot get over 90% releasing 46 plays. So come on, Skee. I want you to win tonight so you can get over that. But as I told him before, Joe, all kidding aside, that is probably the best run I've ever seen from any capper on any site ever. So congrats to Skee. Keep it going this evening. As I said, I am going with Detroit. I did go to the database, guys, and looked up some numbers. When a team wins back-to-back games as a dog, and now they're a favorite or a dog of +9.5. So the only thing we're excluding are double-digit dogs. They have gone 57% since 2017. But when a team like Detroit is off back-to-back wins as a dog and they have more rest than their opponent, listen to this, guys, 64.5% against the spread. And despite an average line of being an underdog, they have gone 48-31, 61% straight up. So finding a situation at 65% is great. Finding a situation where the teams with an average line of being an underdog have hit almost 61% straight up, that's the type of team you want to bet with the point spread and sprinkle a unit on the money line as well.
Got to tell you here, Ralph, outstanding stuff from the database. But quite honestly, Skee, we got to admit, here we are. What is this? The third show, and already the live audience on fire with their comments here in the chat room. I mean, look at C. James bringing it with goddamn Skee torn between the Lakers and the Lakers tonight. He's he's even wearing the purple, Ralph. You know what's going on there. By the way, if you guys want to take advantage of the unbelievable streak all three of these guys have going on right now, we'll tell you in just a minute how you can be a part of a little customer appreciation tomorrow. We'll get to that. But Andy, come on, my man. The dogs are barking here tonight. You know, Skee, he's torn. Lakers are Lakers for him. How about you, man? Where are you going to roll here tonight for us with a dog?
I was getting ready to brag about my 6-3 start to the NBA season. So
you're gonna have to buzz him, Robbie. You're just gonna have to. You know how that works. You're just gonna.
It's a great winning percentage. I'd love to keep it up. But this is kind of like bragging about getting a C+ when your older brothers come home with all A's. So, all right. So last year, I swore I would just take just one of the strangest and dirtiest and smelliest dogs whenever I did this segment, and shockingly, it just works in the NBA. Give me those Trailblazers. Give me those 8.5 points on the Trailblazers. So they stink right now. They lost by 12. They lost by 5 to Orlando. They just got blown out to Philadelphia 76ers. But who are the Raptors to be giving 8.5 points here? So their one win, they scored 97 points in their win. Minnesota just happened to shoot 34% from the field in that game. And by the way, in that game, Toronto got out-rebounded 62-47. They just lost to the Bulls in overtime. They lost to Philly. And the Trailblazers, listen, they're not going to lose all of their games. They're not going to lose all of them. And I will say Scoot Henderson is absolutely amazing and fun to watch. He goes a million miles an hour, except he's constantly turning the ball over and running into people and getting into foul trouble. But for a pure entertainment, there might not be a better player than Scoot Henderson. I'm all on board the Trailblazers. Give me them to win outright, but absolutely give me 8.5 points. Raptors should not be favored this much over anybody.
Ooh, all right, man. I love Andy going all the way to contrarian gods. I wonder why they love you, Andy. Look at you, man, going all Portland on us here. All right, before we get to our best bets here, since Steve Merrill is not here to run the promotions here, because nobody does it better than Merrill, we have the guy who actually trained Merrill here in Ralph Michael. So Ralph, would you just take a second and explain tomorrow our customer appreciation and the ability to be able to hop on board with a number of guys? In fact, all of our guys here at Wager Talk for $2 Tuesday.
Well, consider it $2 Tuesday on super steroids. We are allowing any capper to load a package for $2. It is only available Tuesday. Those packages have to come down Tuesday at midnight, and then they're full price. So take advantage of any Tuesday NBA or NHL, any NBA, any college football or NFL promotions. So you head to Wager Talk anytime tomorrow. You're going to see every capper having the ability to load one package for $2. It's our way of saying thank you for being on the site, and it's just a great test. I'm excited to see how many people take advantage. If you've never tried Wager Talk, this is the absolute one must-stay to come try it out. Enjoy Halloween, cashing with a lot of $2 winners.
Can't go wrong. $2 Tuesday across the board on roids. Love it. All right. It is best bet time here. Those of you new, we give 60 seconds on the clock. We give these guys 60 seconds to do whatever the hell they want with it, as long as they drop a best bet. So Skee, nobody hits threes under the clock better than he does. So he's kicking us off here. Skee, 60 seconds. What's the best bet here tonight on the card?
Well, I'm going to do my best to give 2, and I have 60 seconds to do whatever I want. So not that Andy wasn't nice, but Rafa was extremely nice. So I'm going to take my shot at Andy since Teddy's not here. Teddy's the guy I usually go after. I really like that over in the Boston and Washington game. And I just disagree that if we're only looking at the pace Boston has played at so far, it's going to be a lot different. Washington wants to get out and run up and down. The Miami Heat do not. The New York Knicks do not. And that game versus the Heat already landed on 2:30. So I like that. And the last game for Washington versus the Grizzlies are having trouble scoring versus everybody. I think both teams can make it over to 2:30 tonight. And the second bet, it'll be a first quarter bet going back to contrarian play. Unrested home favorites seeking playoff revenge versus a rested opponent. They're 5-1 straight up, winning by 3 points per game. But in that first quarter, they're winning by 5.3 points per game. So motivation spot, I like the first quarter -2 for the Bucks, along with that total earlier.
Bam! All right. Love it. There you go. 2 for the price of 1. Look, you're getting a little early start there on the $2 Tuesday customer appreciation. He's dropping 2 best bets there tonight on the card, which brings us to Ralph Michaels. Ralph, you know the routine. 60 seconds on the clock, my man. Tell us where you going for a best bet.
I think Robert was a little slow at the buzzer. I thought Skee actually went over by 2 seconds. But I guess if you hit 89% in the NBA since last March, you're allowed to go over by a second or two. I'm going to go with the T-Wolves. Reading the Minneapolis and the St. Paul paper, they've really talked about how this team has changed. There's been accountability from the coaches and the players on the coaching staff. And you look at what they've done. Gobert, people are raving about what he's done. He looks like he's the player from Utah 2 years ago and not what he did last year. Cat hasn't done anything in a couple games, so if he has any type of performance, the way Reed and Gobert are playing, I do like the T-Wolves. I think they've grown up quite a bit. They're going to be a play-on team for me, and it was close to actually being a client release for me. I didn't get there with this game, but Minnesota T-Wolves, my best bet for today.
Ooh, T-Wolves. Did you see what happened to that total from 7 o'clock this morning here as it's still falling as we speak? I wouldn't expect a whole lot of fast pace going on in that game either as we get ready. One more best bet and sharpen your number 2 pencil here, people. As Andy Lang going to drop 60 seconds worth of prop knowledge on you. Andy, where are you going for a best bet here tonight?
I'm just like the forgotten soul on this show. Like Skee's promoting Skee, Ralph's promoting Skee. It's just me and the contrarian gods over here, just kicking it. I will also add I'm 6-2 in the NHL. So look, if we could add that to the record, please. All I need to go is 40-2 in the NBA, and I'll be right there with him. So I'm going to blow everybody's doors off with this monster prop. Give me Walker Kessler under 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's not playing very many minutes, 22, 21, and 23. So that seems like a pretty consistent trend. He's not getting very many shot attempts. 2 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist against Phoenix, 7 and 4. He's not getting any assists. He has 1 on the season. And when you're looking at this PRA category, you got to get it done in all 3. And he's just not. Low points, basically no assists. Walker Kessler for the Jazz. And this is a tough matchup tonight against the Denver Nuggets. So give me Walker Kessler under his PRA tonight.
All right. There you go. We got some sides, we got some totals, we got some props, we got a little something for everyone on this Sports Equinox Monday, October 30th. There are games and abilities to cash tickets across the sports betting landscape here, guys. It is the only time in 2023 for the remainder that you will be able to bet Major League Baseball, the World Series, the NHL, the NBA, the NFL, guys. The 4 big dogs all at it here tonight. And don't forget, tomorrow, Customer Appreciation Day. $2 across the board with any of our handicappers. So do us a favor again. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button if it is NBA content you like this season. It's NBA content we have. And on behalf of Skee, Ralph, and Andy, we appreciate you guys there. Mr. James, S. Warrior, catch you slipping. We got all you guys. We appreciate it. Come back and join us again tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. In the meantime, go ahead, click on that video on your screen right now and get access to all of our NBA game previews and best bets. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck.